Today, we will be discussing strategies to prevent human trafficking. Specifically, we will be going into how you can do so in a variety of locations, whether it be at school, on the internet, and in other places. We will also briefly cover how to spread awareness about the issue as well. This information will be very helpful to know, and we thank you for joining us today for this presentation. During this presentation, feel free to ask any questions or to make any comments about the information given.
Here is an overview of what we will be covering in our presentation today. We will be very briefly remind you of what exactly human trafficking is. After that, we will go into detail about prevention and different spaces such as the internet, school, and public places such as malls and parks. The last part of the lesson will feature ways to educate other people about the issue of human trafficking. We will also give resources to know that will be very helpful. Finally, we will conclude with the assignment for this week.
Before we dive into how we can stop human trafficking, it is important that we fully understand the problem. I know that you've been introduced to it in prior lessons, but we just want to give you a little refresher. The textbook definition of human trafficking is the action or practice of illegally transporting people from one country or area to another, typically for the purposes of forced labor or sexual exploitation. Now that we know that this idea may seem a bit foreign to most people, since they believe that they've never been involved in a situation of the sort. So why should people care? Ishani will explain.
To answer this question, we should take a look at this number. 700,000 people are trafficked each year around the world. This is a staggering statistic. In fact, the estimates can go up to 800,000 or even higher. So this number should really jump out at you and make you realize just how prevalent this issue really is. And it very well may be affecting you either indirectly or directly in some way or another.
So now that we have gone through how important it is for people to do their part in preventing the issue of human trafficking, we will dive into specific ways and places where you can do that. The internet can be a great place since it allows us to do many things previously thought impossible, such as money transactions, contacting friends and family, and staying updated on world news. The rise of the internet, however, has given way for criminals to be able to manipulate and affect others much more discreetly and on a much larger scale. This includes human trafficking.
In order to lure people in, traffickers take a three-step approach: scouting, manipulating, and trapping. In the scouting phase, a trafficker will try to learn as much as possible about the target so that they can better understand how they can be manipulated. In the manipulation phase, traffickers often find many things that the target wants. This includes love, money, or expensive items. Finally, the trafficker is able to convince the target to meet in person. This can be prevented in many ways, the most simple being to stay safe on websites that are protected. If you are messaged or contacted by an unknown number, do not respond and ask for further guidance from a trusted adult or friend. Human trafficking has grown due to the rise of the internet, and the only way to combat this is education. If you notice that anyone you know is acting differently, spending time with suspicious people, and has access to more money than before, talk to them, tell your parents, friends, or the police so that you may want to help them.
School is the place that most children spend the early years of their life. Since we spend a long time period at school, there is a chance of experiencing trafficking. Though this may not happen to us directly, it may happen to those we know. Though school is generally a safe place and most traffickers will not approach a target at school, we can tell that someone is in risk of trafficking by how they behave at school. If you notice someone who is not talking, sitting by themselves, or not participating in activities, they may have been approached by a child trafficker. If you notice someone like this, it would be best to tell your teacher, counselor, or parents. If at school you notice one of your friends has been acting odd, has access to more money, or does not participate in activities, talk to your friend and try to understand how they are feeling. Money can be used as a tool to lure in individuals. You should then offer them help by talking to a trusted adult or parent with them.
In a public place, traffickers can truly be anywhere. It's very difficult to distinguish anyone in particular since most traffickers try to keep a low profile. There are some ways to figure out that if a person needs help because they are in danger of being trafficked. The last of the three steps that traffickers take is trying to get the target to meet in person. From there, they'll be able to lure them into the world of trafficking. To do this, traffickers will target in public, and one way to tell if someone is being lured by a trafficker is to look at the behavior of both the suspected trafficker and the victim, if you think something is going on. The target will most likely be a school-age individual, although this is not always the case because it may be someone older, and the trafficker will likely be an adult. Though this might not be a situation like that, you should closely listen and observe to understand if the individual is being trafficked.
If you can spot evidence of struggle If you can spot evidence of struggle, such as the alleged trafficker forcing the suspected victim to do something against their will, or even if it is an intense verbal struggle, you should immediately call the police and talk to the manager of the store or security. If you are in a park, one option is to find a trusted adult. Since this could be a situation other than trafficking, you should be relatively sure, close to 100%, that something is not right. But as always, it is better to be safe than sorry.
We can educate our peers in many ways. One major way is social media. Millions of people have social media accounts, and if you want to make your message known, you should use your social media account to help warn others about human trafficking. You could also put up signs and posters in public places that warn people about human trafficking. As long as we continue to educate others and help those who are victims of human trafficking, we will be able to put a stop to human trafficking once and for all.
Of course, the key aspect of prevention is being prepared and knowledgeable about your resources. Here's some information about the National Human Trafficking Hotline. There are 2 ways to get in contact with them, through call or text message. They're available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
As part of the Touch of Life Foundation's virtual volunteer program, we are granting community service hours to those who complete the assignments and lessons. So you can do so without having to leave your home. This week, the assignment we're asking you to complete is creating a poster displaying different ways to stop or prevent human trafficking. Feel free to be as creative and informative as you wish. When you complete your assignment, you can share it on social media, put it up in a public place such as a store or restaurant, of course asking management before you do so, or show it to family and friends to educate them on this important information. We look forward to seeing your finished product.
Thank you so much for your attention. This information will be very beneficial to building your knowledge of human trafficking and child labor. When you're prepared, and we'll make sure you're prepared for to be ever in a similar situation. We hope you enjoyed the presentation, and if you have any further questions or comments, you can visit the Touch of Life Foundation website or email mcern@touchoflifefnd.org. Or you can also scan the QR code above to reach the website.
And yeah, I think that's it. All right, thank you guys for joining today. Thank you. All right, bye.